Hi, I'm Tom. This is Lucy. And this is Kitty Help Desk. So today I just wanted to talk with you about a particular qualification that you may find that some veterinary practices and veterinarians have and others do not, and why I feel like it's important that you really, try to seek out vets that have these qualifications. Now, this qualification goes by several different names. There are different kinds of agencies and groups that will actually qualify veterinarians for this. And there's usually a cost involved and usually a program that everyone at the practice has to go through. Sometimes individuals will have these qualifications, others won't. And what I'm talking about is, it goes by the name fear-free in some circumstances. There's also a low-stress handling sort of qualification. I actually have that credential myself. There are several of these out there. I personally don't think it really matters which one a veterinarian has. I think all of them are really great because what they really emphasize is a veterinarian's consideration of the needs of your pet above the needs of the examination. Meaning that we want pets in an exam room to have a positive experience. And that there's been some effort at understanding how that works behaviorally and providing an environment and circumstances that will help that along. Now that provision may include, environmental changes. It can include ways that everyone at the practice interacts with the cats. There's a lot of variation to this, and I encourage you to look into it. I'm going to put some links below to different programs so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But I don't find the specifics to be nearly as important as just having this generally be a goal of a practice, that they are focused on providing positive experiences. Because I had an experience once. I went to a cats only veterinarian, and I thought that the fact that they were cats only meant that they really understood cat behavior. But at the end of the day, I found out that they didn't. And the way I found out was that I brought Mina in, and as they were treating Mina, the first thing they did was they scruffed her. Now, anyone who knows cats well knows that scruffing them is a fairly violent act, especially an adult cat. Kittens can be scruffed, but kittens, have such little weight. It's not really pulling on them. But if you scruff an adult cat, it's a method of control that takes away that cat's control and can make them feel like force is being applied to them when you could just get their cooperation to do these things. And that's really where the disconnect lies. I really didn't go back to that veterinarian. After that, I observed what happened. I decided I didn't want them seeing Mina again. I actually left the veterinary practice at that point. I didn't continue the examination because I didn't think it was fair to Mina to be subjected to that kind of treatment. Now, some people would say that scruffing a cat is just a way to control them. Honestly, though, if you knew Mina, she was the gentlest cat I have ever known in my life. She never would act out or scratch at anyone if she felt threatened. She would just get smaller, and just try to hunker down and make herself as small as possible. But she would never try to run away or leap away or any of these things. The fact that these people defaulted to scruffing her as a way to hold her in place was frankly disturbing. And I've seen that at some larger practices. I had a terrible experience when Mina was just a kitten where she had to go into the practice where I had adopted her. Now, mind you, this is well before I knew what I know now about cats. But I'll never forget, they brought us into the exam room and then they took her away. And you frequently find this happening in vet practices where they take the cat into this other room for the actual treatment to take place, that the exam room is kind of almost like a dog and pony show. That metaphor doesn't really work in a vet, does it? But anyway, you know what I mean. Like it's there to occupy the humans, whereas the actual treatment of the cat is going to take place in another room. And so they took Mina into another room to give her a dewormer. I don't feel that there's any reason why you couldn't give a dewormer in the room with the owners, but they didn't, probably because of what happened. When they brought her back, they took her out in the carrier, they brought her back in the carrier, and she had saliva and vomit and dewormer all over her fur on her face and down her neck. And I was like, what happened? And the vet tech was a male who just said nothing, put the carrier down and walked out of the room. And when the veterinarian came back, I basically accosted her and was like, hey, what are you doing here? This is crazy. Like, and we're, my partner and I are sitting there with paper towels we found in the room and some water from the sink, and we're trying to clean Mina up because it was just like, wow, this is not acceptable. So I never went back to that place either. That was a large veterinary clinic in Sherman Oaks, California. And, it just happened to be attached to the cattery where we adopted Mina. So we brought her back there because that's where her initial care and her surgery had taken place prior to her adoption. And then, I started looking for other veterinarians in the area, and I found a very good one in the long term. But the point is that veterinarians they're not equal in the way that they treat our pets. And some are more sensitive to cats than others, but don't take the fact that it's a cats only vet as enough of a sign to show you that they really do understand cat behavior. That's right. That's absolutely right. It's much better, especially if you don't know them and you don't have any firsthand recommendations from someone else, that you look for one of these qualifications like fear-free or low-stress handling so that you know that at the very least, the practice has this approach in mind. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.